Welcome to Questions Without Notice, the podcast where we delve into the unscripted, unfiltered world of local government politics. With your hosts, father and daughter duo, Camillo and Amelia Blanco.
Welcome to episode 2 of Questions Without Notice. I'm Amy. That's Dad.
Howdy.
Our first episode caused quite a stir. Heaps of people called us up to say that they loved what we're doing, and that's exactly what we want. We want people to be engaging and interested in what's going on in local government, especially in our town of Port Hedland.
And get educated in the system as well.
We had a few comments that maybe some people thought we weren't taking this too seriously. And I just wanted to take this opportunity now to say that we take this deadly seriously. In fact, the situation that our town is in my opinion, right now, has tipped the scales into the ridiculous, which is why we laugh, because it is ridiculous. Some of the stuff that we're talking about, some of the stuff that we watch on this live stream, it just, well, you can see for yourself. So I hope you stick with us as we serve a little bit of local government education with a side of entertainment. And oh, how entertaining this most recent meeting was. But before we get into it, just wanted to address some of the other things that we talked about in our first episode, one being the 40-something questions that Dad asked in the last meeting. Did we get any answers from that?
Oh, look, we got quite a few answers back, but as we go on, through the next episodes, you'll see that I'll be re-asking a lot of those questions, and the reason I do that is because I didn't get an answer, or the information that was supplied was clearly incorrect. And I'll talk about that in the meeting. I have no problem doing that. So, you'll see as it progresses that, I'll be continually asking the same questions. And, these are curly questions that need answers. And, that the people of the town should be demanding answers too. And, we'll get them eventually.
So this most recent meeting happened on the 29th of November. Was there anything on the agenda this time around that stood out to you?
Oh, well, yes. There's we had the motion of no confidence in the mayor. There was the motion that was passed by the council at the 1st of November meeting to bring Jibson Close. So the brothel, if
the brothel,
you like.
not brothel.
Yeah, the brothel, not brothel. To bring that back to the November 29th meeting. I asked a series of questions on the Hoabing group, at the 1st of November meeting, and then this current meeting that just went by, I asked a heap of questions on Hoabing as well. So that'll be interesting to see what the answers come back on that.
Well, I think the mayor was pretty interested in the vote of no confidence agenda item because I've never actually heard him start the meeting with a what do you call it? A
speech, I suppose. So opening remarks really doesn't say much at all throughout the whole meeting, any meeting.
Let's roll the clip.
I am immensely disappointed that the motion of vote of no confidence in my leadership is on tonight's agenda. I will not be defensive because it's a democracy. As councillors, you have the right to share your views and always take your feedback from you as you are a team. But we need to work as a team. Mostly, I'm disappointed that councillors decided to use this best way to raise their concern.
It's, at the end of the day, yes, I've signed a document, to put a motion, a notice of motion up for a vote of no confidence. All of the information, that is needed for people to make a decision on this is in the public arena already. It's been reported, and the council has clearly not done anything to, shape the behaviour of the mayor. So, I'm not going to sit there on council for the next 4 years and let people believe that I, am supporting something like that, because I can't. The guy's been caught being fed strawberries by, some girl in a hotel room, all right, on a school board meeting. This is our, Headland Senior High School, and they were watching him getting fed strawberries by some girl in a hotel room. Yeah. And that's been well publicised.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, the other issue where he's told some old duck that needed help because she was homeless to go and hang herself. Or, go and live under a tree, or do you want a rope, you want a gun, that was well publicised.
Yeah, that was on the news.
Of course it was. So, these sort of things, and there's lots more. Right?
Yeah. That's it. That's just the ones I can remember.
Exactly. Just the behaviour towards people asking questions within the council meetings. Nobody likes that. And I've just been re-elected on there, and I've had to pull him up, on the first meeting. We're not going down that road anymore. You're going to answer questions, okay, because that's what people are coming here for.
It was a weak attempt at trying to save face in light of having this motion come up. Like some of the stuff he said, thanking the universe for having this opportunity. He's been sitting in the chair that long.
3 years.
Nothing's changed. In fact, the only thing that he's given the town is a bad rep.
100%.
You ask anyone, and we both work with, new people to town every day. And you ask them about Port Hedland, the first thing they've heard of was Peter Carter and a controversy.
Me and your mum went to Perth, and we're walking through the airport, and people are still talking about the strawberry situation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like everybody's talking about it. You ain't coming back from that.
Well, he's not gone down from it either.
No, well, that's right. But, clearly, and again, I've said it many, many times, this is the standard that the Department of Local Government accepts.
Yeah.
I don't accept it, they accept it.
Yeah.
Because they're not doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the council members are not doing anything about it either because there's been no complaints put forward.
Yeah.
Right. So, the administration needs to be, putting complaints forward when they think things are going wrong. There's no complaints being put forward. Okay. Now, I put lots of complaints forward. Nothing's happened.
Yeah.
It's like I'm the Lone Ranger when it comes to that.
Well, since we're on the subject, you might as well skip forward to what actually happened with that agenda item. It was supposed to be the last thing on the agenda, but it ended up being brought forward. So what happened there?
Oh, the
motion of no confidence.
Oh, the motion of no confidence. Well, I don't know. I had no idea that the council was going to postpone it, I suppose, and they postponed it till February. But clearly they were prepped because. From what I've seen previously to what I saw on that meeting, I don't think that they had the ability to work that out, individually. They just don't have the experience. But, clearly, they've been coached and, it happened quickly. If it happens quickly and they're organised behind the scenes, either the administration or, they've got together and they've worked it out and they've pushed it forward, which is a mistake, in my opinion, because effectively what they've done is they've prolonged the subject. The gallery was packed. There was people standing in the back of the meeting, so that normally doesn't happen. Well, it used to happen when I was mayor. I packed the gallery out all the time. But, over the last few years, there's only been 1 or 2 people sitting in the gallery. But the last meeting, it was packed again. And clearly they wanted to see that agenda item and see what happened and all of that sort of stuff. So you've got that many people in the gallery and then you, lay the item on the table or you postpone it for 2 or 3 months. They're all going to be talking about that for the next 2 or 3 months. So when it comes back, it's going to be huge again. So, if they were smart about it, they would have just done it straight away and then, people move on. But prolonging it, it stays in the public, sphere, if you like.
So can you, because the the item was actually submitted by Councillor Butson.
That's right.
So can you walk us through that process?
You can put a notice of motion forward to the administration, so then they develop an agenda item. And the normal process would be that 1/3 of the council signs a document. In our council, we have 9 members, so 3 is 1/3 of the council signs a notice of motion to then make the administration put that subject forward for consideration, for the council's consideration. So that can be done at any time 7 days prior to the meeting. Okay, so, it was done, I think it was done a couple of weeks before the meeting actually was held. So that's the process.
So what does the motion actually achieve?
The motion of no confidence, if it's passed, achieves absolutely nothing. The mayor still stays in his position. It doesn't force the administration to do anything. But what it actually does is it shows the people that have elected you, or the community, that that you do not support the actions of that individual and what they've done. When the motion is being debated within the council, the reasons for the motion being put forward will come out, because we will be able to discuss it.
So that's the actual reason for the motion, is so that you can bring up all of the past controversies and why he isn't actually a good pick for leadership for the town. Is that what?
Well, it will bring up the opinions of the council.
Yeah.
So really, every council member, if they're voting for it, they should have their argument for, supporting the motion. If you're against it, then they should have good argument against, the motion. And then, if people are sitting on the fence and they don't have an understanding, of what's going on, they'll listen to the arguments and they'll make a decision on the night.
Yeah, I guess it forces them to think about it too.
Absolutely. But, what happens in situations like this across WA, or across local governments, is, nobody says anything, and, the problems continue.
Yeah.
So, for people to say, don't do it, why do it? You're wasting our, resources, all that sort of stuff. I think that's incorrect. It's people need to understand the reasons behind something like this, and they need to listen to the argument that's provided, and then make the decision after the discussion.
Yeah, I understand. So even though the motion doesn't actually do anything if it's passed at the end of it, it gives the council a opportunity to talk about the subject in a public forum.
Yeah, that's right. But also what it does is it highlights the issues to the Department of Local Government. They are the regulators in local government, and they clearly got their blinkers on and they're blind to the issues that are plaguing local governments across WA.
Yeah, right. So that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I did. The reason why I brought that up is for exactly what you said. There was a lot of comments on social media. A few members of the public had posted the motion after they'd seen it in the agenda, and they went off. They went off a bit.
Yeah, but they're the same people that go off at everything.
Yeah,
and it's clearly they have no understanding of the intricate detail of local government. They've got no understanding of the standards that are supposed to be set, and they are happy with those standards that we're in at the moment, which is in the gutter.
I have to agree. I mean, I thought for sure after the strawberry incident at least that people would be more inclined to keep him accountable for the other stuff that, has been going on. But, mate, he's Teflon.
Teflon, yeah, but the issue is that you've also got a whole host of other individuals that seem to think that is okay because they have done nothing.
Yeah.
Yes, Councillor Christensen.
Now that we've done that a few times, may I also suggest that we bring forward item 14.2, please?
14.2.
Yeah.
Can I get a
14.2.
clarification on what we have just done? Have we moved it, seconded it? What,
Brought it forward and have it
Just brought it
forward.
forward, that's
We
all?
have a mover and a
I
seconder.
just asked the same question.
what was that?
I just asked the same question. You asked what the hell just happened. I just said the same thing. What just happened? What are they fluffing around about?
So we just moved and seconded to bring it forward?
Correct, that's correct.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, so he's moved and seconded to bring it forward?
Yes.
Okay, so it should just go to the
He
vote.
should just go, yeah, he should just read the agenda item now.
Okay.
Okay, we've moved it to bring it forward. Yay, great, that's been passed. Oh, wait, no. It hasn't been passed because they haven't gone to the vote. Do they have to? Is that how it happens?
There's a lot of confusion here.
Yeah.
Okay, so moved and seconded to bring it forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So it should then go to the vote.
Yep.
Because I'm waiting. What's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. What have we just done?
Chair, I'd like to move a procedural motion.
Yes, Councillor Christensen.
I wish that the motion be deferred.
Yes, to what date, Councillor?
We'll go for a seconder first, and I'll do my speech, and then we can go forward
Okay.
from there.
All right. Is there a seconder?
So,
I'll second that.
Seconder. Thank you, Councillor Urquhart.
So they did it again.
Yeah, Councillor, anyone against?
No, it goes into point of order through the chair.
Yep.
So go through to me to give explanation, and then we go into a vote. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, it's a procedural motion. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Councillor Christensen.
So, motion of deferral. I appreciate that the fellow councillors here see a reason to vote and no competence is required to address.
Do you have to vote? You moved and second a proposal, a motion to bring the item forward.
Yep.
That needs to be voted on first
Yep.
before he amends.
That's right. So you bring the motion forward because it's not in the position of the agenda.
Yeah, so they didn't vote on it. He just went straight into amending the motion to defer.
So it was voted on to bring it forward, and now he's got a
No, it didn't. There was a proposal to bring it forward. Christensen is the mover. Eckie was the seconder. Does it then need to go to a vote?
yes.
It didn't go to the vote. He just went straight into amending the motion.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Let's try it again.
Through the chair.
Yes, Councillor Christensen.
Now that we've done that a few times, may I also suggest that we bring forward item 14.2, please?
14.2.
Yeah, look, that's
Yes,
the move to bring the item forward.
Yep.
Yes, Councillor. Is there a seconder for Councillor Christensen's?
Seconded.
That's the second.
Yes, hello.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Urquhart. We've got you. Is there anyone
Stop
against?
laughing, Sven.
No, there's no one against.
Yeah. So anyone against? No one against. Yeah.
Did Eckie just say stop huffing, Sven?
I don't have that on my list. 14.2.
And then they start fluffing around. And then this is when you ask for clarification on what just happened. And then he asks again for a mover and a seconder to bring the motion forward. And then Christensen just butts in and starts asking for a deferral of the motion. And then they ask for a mover and a seconder again.
Hang on. Let's wait. See.
40.
Can I get a
14.2.
clarification on what we have just done? Have we moved it, seconded it?
Brought it forward and have it
Just brought it forward, that's
We
all?
have a mover and a seconder. Dealing with it next. Yep.
Yeah. We have a mover and a seconder to bring it forward, but there's no vote.
To bring it forward.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Item number 14.2.
Through the chair, I'd like to move a procedural motion.
Yeah,
Yes,
there was no
Councillor
vote. He just started reading
Motion
it,
be deferred.
and then he goes straight to motion to defer.
No. Right. My interpretation of it was he's brought it forward. He's asked, "Is there anybody against?" And nobody said anything.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he has. But then he's gone back. He's gone back and redid the, because I've asked for a clarification. What have we just done?
Yeah,
All right, because they're fluffing about.
yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I can see,
It's just a bit messy.
It's very messy, yeah. I can see that, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it was just was just a bit messy. It was just seems pretty simple, you know, standing orders. There's a motioner, a mover, a seconder, and a vote.
Yep.
And that's the process. But anyway.
But there's been no clarification on the vote on that. That's the issue. But in my interpretation of it sitting in the chair was that he asked, is there anybody against? Nobody put their hand up. Okay, no worries. But then they start fluffing about.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, what's going on here? All right. It's very messy.
We'll go for a seconder first, and I'll do my speech, and then we can go forward from there.
All right. Is there a seconder?
So,
I'll second that.
Seconder. Thank you, councillor Urquhart.
So that happened very fast. He moved to defer.
Gates.
No,
Right away, seconded by
So it goes
Eckhard.
through to me to give explanation, and then we go into a vote. Thank you.
Okay.
And then Ash asked to give an explanation before you went to the vote.
That's right, yeah. It's had a mover and a seconder, and then they asked for any against, and I've objected to it. So then he has to explain himself.
Go back, because that didn't look like that's what happened.
Yes, to what date, councillor?
We'll go for a seconder first, and I'll do my speech, and then we can go forward from there.
All right. Is there a seconder?
So,
I'll second that.
Seconder. Thank you, councillor Urquhart. Yeah, councillor, anyone against?
No, it goes into...
Oh, see, he doesn't speak clearly at all. I didn't understand what he said.
Yeah. Well, when you're re-watching it on the live stream, Christensen is not speaking into the mic.
Yeah.
Nobody speaks into the mic.
Yeah.
Whether they do that on purpose, I don't know. They've been on there long enough. They should understand, to speak into the mic so people can see or can hear what they're talking about. And, there was a couple of incidences on that, in that meeting where, I've requested, the CEO speak into the mic 3 times because they're just not doing it. People can't hear it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't hear it. I totally missed that completely. And, it just looks like a mess, that there's no standing orders in place at all, that the process is completely wrong. But, you have to listen to it that hard to understand that he said, oh, is there anyone against? Like, if you didn't hear that, there's an opportunity there for him just to kind of sweep it under the rug and move on before anyone says anything.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's a position motion. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Coach Christensen.
So, motion of deferral. I appreciate that the fellow councillors here...
So now, technically, this is a debate, and he's speaking for his...
He's speaking for his deferral.
Yes.
...required to address particular issues aligned to the current motion to pave the way for our local government to progress in a manner more conducive to the interests of our community and our residents. Regrettably, I find the current motion lacking in clarity regarding the subsequent course of action the Council intends to undertake past this vote. Consequently, I seek the Council's endorsement to defer this motion to the first Ordinary Council meeting in February of 2024.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Christensen.
So he's unclear what the motion is for. But then, if you followed the process, you would become clear because you would go into debate.
But this is supposed to be debate.
No. This is his explanation for putting the motion forward to defer. So he needs to get the council to agree to defer the motion. So he's got to give him an explanation as to why he wants it deferred.
Shouldn't that happen while he's moving his motion, not after it's been seconded and...
Yes, that's right. Yes, you're right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
he should move the motion, give the explanation, then get a seconder, and then as soon as you get a seconder, the motion becomes the floor's.
Yeah.
It becomes everybody's motion.
Yeah.
It's not his anymore, and then you go into debate.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The whole process is so messy, and this is why there are people on social media and gallery that are totally confused, and they start making up their own stories.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So technically, at this point, it's been moved and seconded. This should be his for debate.
That's right.
But this is now just his explanation. So let's see what happens next.
Councillor Turner. No debate. Yeah, sorry. Of course. Okay. All those in favour?
1, 2,
4, 6,
6, against.
6, 7,
6.
6. Yep, 6. Good. Those against?
Okay.
You see?
Yeah, I see what you mean. This is a procedural motion. Okay. So a procedural motion. Yeah, I know. I'm a bit rusty myself, So a procedural motion is a motion you can put forward, all right, to deal with items, quickly, all right. He's deferred the motion. Now, in standing orders, it says that the mover of a procedural motion can speak, but nobody else can. Okay, so it's right. You've got a mover and a seconder. He spoke to the motion, and then it's gone to the vote.
So what's the difference between a regular amendment and a procedural motion?
Well, a regular amendment, you'd be speaking to the actual content of the motion. Here, we're not speaking to the content of the motion. We are only speaking to deferring the motion.
I see. That was so complicated for something so simple. If they learnt how to speak into the mics properly and used the correct language, it would be so much easier to understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why no one was allowed to talk. Because when I was watching this live, I thought it was so weird that no one had the opportunity to stop it.
Yeah. But, the mayor has the opportunity to explain this stuff. Right, so I used to do that when I could see that the public's going, oh, what's going on here? I say, okay, this is the process. This is what we're doing. You explain it to the public because you're supposed to. The public is supposed to have an understanding of what you're talking about. And you got to keep them informed. I would have just probably done a little explanation. This is how it works. It's a procedural motion, and explain a little bit to and then people are happy about that.
All right, okay, I get it. Okay, and this is why we do this stuff, because that was an explanation that I needed, explained to me, and it wasn't explained at the time. We're filming this a week later. I can't imagine how many people are thinking, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But again, you got to have a good understanding of the rules. And sometimes, what I do is I think people know. And I just keep going sort of thing. But then, you got to watch the room and you can tell if people are confused. That, they start doing gestures. What's going on here? And okay, give you a bit of explanation.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Well, in that case, we won't. We'll leave this one until it comes back in the February meeting. So I guess the next set of questions you asked, which was the big one that took up a lot of your question time, was bringing up the engagement between the mayor, or I guess the question of the engagement, whether there was any engagement or not between the mayor and the town and a few Vietnamese companies and the RDA as well. So.
Yep. The Ho Binh Group has been listed in the minutes of the council meetings on a number of occasions. The mayor has actually stated previously that Ho Binh was going to meet with the council and present, to the council on what they do in their business and all of that sort of stuff. Well, that's my interpretation of it. So I've requested the meeting minutes or notes in relation to the meeting between Ho Binh, the mayor, and Regional Development Australia. And there's a couple of listings in the minutes that says that the mayor and the Regional Development Australia have met with Ho Binh. So I asked that question on the 1st of November, and the answer I got back was that the RDA have never met with Ho Binh.
Right, so they've rejected that.
They rejected it and said we've never met with them at all. But what they did tell me was that they met with with another Vietnam-based company called Kalian Specialists, which the mayor answered that question on the night, said that they were immigration specialists or immigration people.
Yeah.
I would assume, or actually, no, I'm confident that, it's about importing foreign labour.
Well, what else would you talk to them about?
Exactly. So
actually, this is probably a good one to watch because the way that it unfolded was kind of entertaining.
Well, the mayor tried to deflect it, but You can't deflect this, because when you have these meetings that have been listed in the minutes of the meeting and they've been approved by the council, then they become true and correct. And you can actually use the minutes of local government meetings in court as evidence. You don't have to have those documents certified by anyone. They are certified as being true and correct.
Yeah.
They're a legal document that can be used in a court of law. So we've got a situation here where, one group is saying this is what happened, another group is saying, oh no, that didn't happen, this is what happened, and then we've got minutes of meetings that are in question. So, this needs to be sorted out.
CEO or Mr. Mayor, can you tell me why the Mayor has engaged with the Holbein Group and issued them with so much of the town's proposed and potential development information when the council has not been privy to those presentations and has not approved any such information supply or presentation to Holbein that I'm aware of?
All the information is public. Thank you.
All the information is what?
It's public.
Public.
All the information is public. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. You should know. Even if they didn't put any, there's no information to be public because you can't get your hands on it. So how can the public get their hands on it? But it's public. Thank you. Okay, let's continue.
Look, some issues here. Firstly, Vietnam is a communist country. We need to be careful what we do with our information as Australians, giving it to a foreign country. When this stuff happens, you should have the Premier's office involved, or even the federal government. So there should be state or federal representatives, because we're dealing with foreign countries. There could be national security issues here, whatever it may be. Port Hedland is significant to the country, all right? And you can't just have people, wandering off doing whatever they want to do without going through the right channels. And, clearly this subject needs to be talked about a bit more, and we need to get some answers to the questions that I've asked. And you know what? I just can't believe that I'm doing it. Because I've only been there 4 or 5 weeks, okay? And nobody else has asked these questions. Nobody else has got a clue about what's going on.
Yeah.
All right? So I've handed them all the information. This is serious stuff, in my opinion. And, it's something that, I would expect the federal police to be involved in if there's something dodgy going on here. Anyway, what do you do? What do you do when nobody's interested in, these sort of subjects, when you're getting, kickback from everybody because, let's not delve into that. That might be a little bit too awkward for somebody or a lot of people. Well, yeah, bloody oath, it's awkward. It's awkward that, the council doesn't know anything about it. It's awkward that the administration has said they don't know nothing about it. And they haven't developed any PowerPoints or, talking points for the mayor to then go and present to another foreign country.
Yeah.
Can we have that? Can we have those presentations then that the town has issued you to present to Holbein?
Absolutely. Fine.
So I've asked, can we have the presentations that the town has issued the mayor to present to another country? Can we have them? And he said, absolutely. What's the next question?
I'll get that for you in due course. Thank you.
Can I ask a question to the CEO, Mr. Mayor? Has the town of Port Hedland, the administration, developed PowerPoint display so the mayor can present to Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam?
Not to my knowledge.
Could you say it in the microphone so people can hear?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, thank you.
Well, there's the next question there. Has the administration developed that PowerPoint that he presented to the Ho Chi Minh group?
Well, the mayor just said that you can have it. That yes, there are presentations, and yes, you can have them.
Yeah.
But now the CEO's saying, well, not to my knowledge, we didn't make him anything.
That's right.
Yeah. Could you say it again? I'm sure people are interested in this.
We asked him to say it 3 times.
Well, the people in the gallery were yelling out. They were yelling, "We can't hear you! We can't hear you!"
Oh, is that what was happening?
Yeah. So, I've had to ask him 3 times to speak into the microphone.
Oh no, I can. Okay, yeah, I can see people looking out into the gallery.
Yeah. No, so that's the reason. That's the reason they were yelling out. They couldn't hear what he was saying, but he wasn't speaking into the microphone. You know?
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see what happens with this. But the Department of Local Government is, in my opinion, at fault. They are the people that are the ones that should be blamed if anything goes wrong here with this subject, because they are the regulators, and they fail to regulate the local government in WA. They fail to do anything when people put complaints forward about misconduct and stuff like that. So I'm not suggesting there's any misconduct here, right?
But if there is,
they need to investigate it, because it's our job as council members to ask the questions, to make sure that everything is above board.
and if something seems fishy, then they should be stepping in.
They should be stepping in with this sort of stuff, because this is serious stuff. When you're involving other countries in local government matters, the local government doesn't have any authority to engage with a foreign country.
Well, it's got nothing to do with roads, rates, rubbish and recreation.
Exactly. So, they need to get involved. They need to find out what's going on, and then there needs to be a conclusion. And clearly they've been absent in their responsibility for years.
Yeah. Could you say it again? I'm sure people are interested in this, Ms. CEO.
The answer was not to my knowledge.
Okay, thank you. I'm.
Ecky's shaking his head.
At what?
At you, asking him to say it again.
Councillor Eckhard, ex-councillor Eckhard, should have been at the meeting. And then he would have seen what I saw, which was people in the gallery saying, "We can't hear you."
Yeah.
And if he doesn't have an understanding of what is actually going on, he should stop nodding his head or shaking it, because he doesn't know what the hell's going on. Much the same as he's been blind over the last 2 years of what's been going on in Port Hedland.
Yeah. A lot of the reactions you get from the people sitting around that table as well, the reactions come from discomfort. And that's the part that annoys me personally as well, is like these meetings, as soon as they become or suggest to become uncomfortable, they want to stay well clear from whatever subject might bring them a little bit of discomfort. If you've put your hand up to sit in one of these chairs or want one of these jobs, and you're not willing to be uncomfortable for the sake of, the greater good, say, or for the community, then you need to go. Just go.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. It's, there's a lot of subjects that we deal with that make everybody uncomfortable, but we have to deal with them. This is one. We'll come to a conclusion on this. But, clearly housing is another one. Law and order is a big one in Hedland. Kids on the street, child sex offences, all of this sort of stuff. Nobody wants to talk about the real nasty stuff.
No.
Why haven't we got good health services in the area?
Yeah.
Why is our education system so bad? These are the things that we need to be talking about. And this is what annoys me right now, okay? I am super annoyed that I have to be dealing with this sort of stuff in council meetings and these questions that I'm asking, when the real intent of my, presence on council is to talk about, the housing issues, is to talk about ensuring that the kids that are coming out of our high school actually get jobs in our town. Right, the kids that have grown up in this place are actually able to stay in the place they grew up in and get a job here, and then have a family and all of that sort of stuff. That's impossible at the moment. They can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. The law and order issue, the child sex issues that we've got, all of that other nasty stuff. I'd rather be talking about that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't talk about it, it stays the same or it gets worse.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah, that's what I mean. But here you are talking about something as simple as a vote of no confidence in the mayor, in a mayor that hasn't done anything since he's sat in that chair. But because it's an uncomfortable situation, because for whatever reason for these councillors, they've chose to defer it because it is an uncomfortable situation for them. But that's what I mean. That's their level. This is the level that I guess is the capacity of the council at the moment. You want to talk about high level stuff, bringing in, the higher levels of government to actually come in and do what they're supposed to do and support our town in the way that they're supposed to. Because as far as I'm concerned, since you've, since you came off as mayor, I haven't heard anything.
No, it's always swept under the carpet.
There was always a minister in town.
Yeah.
There was always somebody in town. Something was happening in town when you were the mayor. Someone from some other government was talking about something. We were being promised something. Something was happening.
I was upsetting someone.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And it doesn't matter about that. Making those representatives upset, making them squirm in their seats actually makes them do something.
Yeah. That's right.
And that's what a lot of people in the town don't actually understand. Oh, he's nasty, he's this, he's that, he's that. Well, hang on a sec. The improvements were there for all to see, okay? And the reason we got those improvements is because the squeaky wheel was there.
Yeah.
It wasn't squeaky, it was quite loud. But
like a grinding sound.
Yeah.
Instead of giving you the oil or support that you needed to maybe quiet you down a little bit, they just took the wheel off and threw it out.
Yeah, I was the wheel. They threw that clean out.
They threw out the whole trolley.
That's right.
Anyway, let's get back to this section. Let's continue the clip.
I need to know, Mr. Mayor, why the administration has not applied policy 4009 in relation to significant decision-making, engagements and thresholds, engagements and the thresholds of the policy in relation to holding group.
The policy talks about how the council approves discussion with the community and other, businesses. And we are required through the policy, if it's a significant decision, right, and it will affect a significant amount of people within the town, then it becomes, it becomes a decision that needs to be made by the council. So, Hoabin is a big construction company, and the talk here is about them coming over to Port Hedland and building, houses and
whatever else,
community, buildings and stuff like that. That's what the Hoabin group are talking about. And I didn't make this up. You can actually Google this. So you Google Hoabin Group. How do you spell Hoabin? It is Hoabinh Group. And Peter Carter. And it pops up straight away.
Right.
So he's over there having meetings with Hoabin, the board of Hoabin, and on the board table you can see the town of Port Hedland's documents on the board table, and he's having photos with these guys, and that's what they're talking about.
Well, how can that be the case?
But they're also talking about that this is the first step into Australia through Port Hedland. The first step.
In their article.
Yeah, that's what they talk about in their article. So, and then there's another article where the CEO of Hobin is talking about $100 million investment in Australia. So one article is saying this is their first step into Australia, and the other article is saying this is a $100 million investment in Australia. So I'm thinking, oh, well, is that a $100 million investment in Port Hedland? Because that's what that company is advertising in Vietnam. It's on their news network.
Isn't there an issue here if that is the case? If the town or the mayor or whoever, whatever, however it happened, went and first engaged a private company. I don't understand that part.
Well, firstly, you know, you don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have an understanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So firstly,
I guess what I'm asking is, you know, it sounds dodgy to me, right? You have a tender process for a reason. If the town wants anything to be done in the town, it has to go through a tender process, so it's fair for everybody that has a private business.
That's right.
So how can, you know, the mayor going over to this big construction company and giving, you know, town branded booklets of whatever the hell he was talking about over there to a private company and enticing him to come over to Australia or to Port Hedland in particular, or whatever he was doing, how isn't that an issue within itself? Why wasn't that flagged, you know, with the local government, you know, regulators or anything like that? Like you said before, why are you talking about it?
Well,
what is he doing over there? Who sent him over there? Did he go over there on his own money? Did I pay for it as a ratepayer?
there you go. They're the questions that need to be answered, and they're the questions that I've asked. Okay, so I've asked, how was the town of Port Hedland first how did the engagement happen between Hobin and the town of Port Hedland?
Yeah.
Because it's not just the RDA that's involved here. Hobin, the mayor, and BHP have spoken. Hobin, the mayor, and the town of Port Hedland have spoken. All right. And then Hobin, the mayor, and the RDA. And then you've got a whole series of other meetings that have happened with RDA, with Hobin and the mayor. Okay. So, you know, we need answers to this sort of stuff. And, you know, I think they'd be, you know, it'd be good to get answers quickly. But, you know, in my experience, in my short experience this time with the...
Your 5 weeks?
Yeah, I don't seem to be getting any answers.
Well, it is perplexing. It really is. It doesn't make any sense. In that short period that we just watched, there was so much confusion. You've asked the mayor, can I have the documents? He said, yes, you can. And then you asked the CEO, are there any documents? CEO said, not to my knowledge.
That's right.
Okay. So which one of them is misleading?
Yeah.
But before those questions even come into play, what was he doing over there? And now there's an article that has a picture of town-branded packages and a presentation that the CEO says he doesn't know anything about. So is the mayor acting on his own? And if he is acting on his own, that's a big no-no.
Well, that's something that we need to find out, isn't it? You know, and again, you know, the whole idea of, you know, this podcast is to educate the people into the local government business. Now, and to get people involved in it as well. These sort of subjects need support from the people in the town.
Yeah, for sure.
And, you know, I can't be pushing this wheelbarrow on my own, or individuals push this wheelbarrow on their own. If you actually care about the town you live in, you need to get involved, and you need to be providing some support to somebody. Pick a side, you know. You either don't like questions been asked in a public arena, in a democratic setting, and come in and say that. You don't like that, all right? Or if you do agree with somebody that is, keeping the system accountable, well, then you need to turn up and you need to support that person, because this is the way democracy erodes, by people just turning a blind eye to everything.
And I also want to know if the Premier's office or JETSI is involved in the discussions that you are having with the Hollabing Group.
I'm not aware of that. Thank you.
Okay. So, council members, can you just pass that around?
So while you're passing that around, what you've asked him is whether the cabinet. Is that what you asked?
I've asked whether the Premier's office or JETSI, so the department within
Department of Premier. No.
Department of Premier and Cabinet.
Yeah, that's the one.
So they call it JETSI.
Yep.
All right. So that's the little department in there that deals with international groups or foreign countries, significant projects within WA. They deal with. They're the heavy hitters.
Yeah. So you've asked if they're involved, and he said, "Not to my knowledge."
Well, yeah, not to his knowledge. I'm thinking, oh, geez, there's alarm bells going off now. You're dealing with a foreign company and a foreign country, and the Premier's office is not involved or have no idea of what's going on. There's something not quite right here.
This information can be found on the internet by typing in Hollabing Group and Peter Carter. And it is listed on the Hollabing Company news release. It's not secret. The photo in the shows Town of Port Hedland documents on the board table of Hollabing Group in Vietnam. The statement of Hollabing is Hollabing's first steps in Australia. Hollabing has a meeting with Mayor Peter Carter, with Mayor of Port Hedland on the 23rd, 2023. Hollabing Construction has had a meeting and discussion with Mr. Peter Carter, Mayor of Port Hedland, Australia, about participating in construction activities in Port Hedland City, Australia, about participating in construction projects in Port Hedland.
You can Google the Hollabing Group and Peter Carter, and all of this information comes up. It's not secret. I haven't found it miraculously, by probing, his personal files. This is in the internet, all right? This is the company the Hollabing Group has released it into the news in Vietnam. Okay, so.
And this is where that image that I'm talking about before, with the town branded documents on the table.
Yeah, well, if you look it up, you can blow the picture up and you see our documents on the table.
Yeah.
So and the thing, the news release is quite clear. We an engagement with the mayor and the construction potential in Port Hedland.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I was always of the opinion that we should be using our ratepayers' money in Port Hedland with our local businesses, because they employ our local people. That's my opinion. And I don't care what anyone says. And I don't care if I'm having blues with any businesses for any different reason. It doesn't matter. Our ratepayers' money gets spent in our town with our businesses.
Yep.
That is the overarching idea that should be, entrenched within the council.
Yep.
The local businesses, sometimes they haven't got the capacity to do the jobs that we want done, and then we can outsource in WA. But to go to another country, to be talking to, people that import foreign workers, to be talking to people that import, foreign construction materials and people, what's that doing?
Yeah.
our job as council members, the people that have elected us are the people of the town. We need to be representing them first and foremost, which means our local businesses as well. So, if you don't agree with that, let us know in the comments, okay? Because I want to know what your opinion is on that, because that's my opinion.
Yeah, it should be local
Absolutely.
business.
If you have a philosophy of you want every kid that comes out of the high school of your town to get a job and live in the town that they grew up in, well, that's the standards that you should have. All of the money that is spent within the local government should be spent with our local businesses where possible. And we have got the capacity here. We've got, we got some big construction companies here that have done great jobs, elsewhere. And the other thing is, there's more. The other thing is, so many times we have actually had construction companies or other companies that have come into town. They do a cheap, nasty job and then they buzz off, right? And then you can't get them back to fix their mess. At least if we have, if we employ the companies that we've got here, and then we, and if they do a dodgy job, which I doubt that they do because they have to live in this place, and if they do, you just knock them, you just tap them on the shoulder, hey mate, come and sort this mess out. They say, yeah, no worries, because they don't want to have a bad name within the town.
Yeah.
So it's all logical stuff.
Yeah.
Makes me wild.
Port Hedland is a city in the period of transition with a lot of potential for development in all aspects. Thereby, the need to build projects is increasing.
Point of order for the chair.
Yes, Councillor.
While I appreciate a lot of information needs to be had, can I please draw a reference to the standing orders where it does state questions from members will remain concise to the point, please, and does not reflect conversation, information or points of reference, please. Happy for these questions to come, and I know there's important stuff, but again, can I please just be more precise and concise to the questions, please?
In order to ask the questions that you're asking, they need to understand the evidence, why you're asking these questions in the first place. To me, like we said before, Councillor Christensen bringing that up, essentially trying to, either shut you up or move you along. It's just another point. It's like I was talking before. He's just uncomfortable and he doesn't want to listen to it anymore. And he should listen to it because it's an issue.
If I had, if I thought that we had a bunch of people on there that were actually, had some life skills and have some understanding of a whole range of different topics, then I wouldn't have to explain myself. But, it's clear to me that when I speak to people, they don't have a real understanding of what is going on behind the scenes. So you have to explain yourself. And, again, there is a requirement to explain yourself to the public because the gallery was chockers, right? And the idea of speaking at a council meeting is to explain yourself enough so the actual gallery knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Not the council. They should know.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah.
But they should know. I'm speaking to the people and I'm making sure that the people understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah. So, and after the meetings, if people come up to you and say, hey, we don't know what the hell you were talking about, you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I don't normally get that. I normally get, we understood, or we Googled it, or we did this, or we did that. Well, geez, what's going on here? Or, so anyway.
And I would say that standing orders point that he brought up was just so, that you're kept on track, that you're not having casual conversations during a time where we should be addressing, the agenda or whatever else. But again,
That's right. That's exactly what that section is for. If you're debating a specific subject, all right, and it's about, eggs, well, then you can't go and talk about pineapples over here.
Yeah.
Right? That's what that piece is for.
Yeah.
This, questions without notice, you can bring up all sorts of subjects.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is, this stuff is quite serious, and I wouldn't be surprised if there is some sort of plan moving forward to stop council members asking any questions.
From this council or from government in general?
Well, let's see what happens.
Well, what's the point?
You know what that's called? That's called socialism. Okay? That's what communists do. Okay?
Is that why we're talking to Vietnam?
Well, no, I'm just saying, people, we said before that people need to get involved in local government. Okay? There's a couple of subjects that have come up about, recording, and all of that sort of stuff. And I'm totally opposed to that, right? Because it reduces your rights as a citizen of Western Australia, but also Australia, because it all starts at a local government area. These little things that they start applying, okay, that reduce your rights as a citizen. We need to be against that sort of stuff. So when it starts at a local government level, we need to be on it, and we need to show our support or dislike for certain things, okay? And that's what's lacking in local government. Nobody wants to do that. So, all sorts of stuff happens. Local government is a big business in WA. Billions and billions of dollars of ratepayers' money, that's your money, is being spent, and nobody's interested in it, So, crazy stuff.
Well, we'll see what the outcome is on this. I'm sure this will be ongoing because, 2 out of 2 meetings, you haven't gotten the answers that you're looking for. So we'll come back and address this in the next episode. So I think we're going to have to break this up into a few parts because the recording's gone on a bit long. So stay tuned for part 2 of episode 2 of Questions Without Notice, and we'll see you then.
See ya.